What if this episode never existed?
What if I instead just got up and went to the store and got some bananas? What if uh I didn't watch this show?
What if the MCU stopped doing multiverse shit?
What if was actually allowed to just have fun and not relate to any movie?
What if? What if?
That's what I'm saying. Welcome back to the Cosmic Panel.
We took our
Hope you
break.
guys have had lovely holidays, winter holidays, and ready to get into that new year,
Santa held a gun to our head.
2024.
And forced
Yeah,
us to watch these shows.
yeah, really cool. He and his little Disney elves worked on this. Is that? I feel like that sounds derogatory.
Disney elves.
Yeah, so we had to watch this little show that these little animators made. 9 episodes, eh?
Yeah, 9 episodes.
I was kind of surprised by that.
I mean, the first season was also 9 episodes, wasn't it? Yeah, it was
I thought
also.
it was less.
No, it was 9 episodes also. I just
Huh.
checked.
Huh. I didn't realize. I guess I'm so used to the 6 episode format now.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is also these are half-hour episodes, so I mean they're in when you take that into consideration with the runtime, they're shorter than the actual like mainline MCU shows.
Yeah.
Which is good. Please don't make them that long.
Yeah, no need to milk it. But yeah, really what I have to say about this season is just like they're afraid to just have fun and just try stuff. Um and the moments when they clearly like let go and step back a little bit is when it shines, you know. We have
Yeah.
an entire Kohori episode which doesn't have anything to do with any movie. It's just a story that someone clearly wanted to tell and they got the chance to tell it, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it was really
Um
good.
for me, that was a highlight, and the last 2 episodes were a lot of fun. Um, those are kind of my top three of this season. But yeah,
For me, it's probably the second episode with the 1980s Avengers is probably my favorite. Um, I think that's probably the smartest way that they've used the what if, at least when connecting to the films, because it felt natural. Because it wasn't just a lot of these what ifs. It feels like they're connecting only to one film or two films. This felt like no, this is connecting to the entire franchise as a whole. Like this is everything. Um, so I felt like it was much more expansive. Plus, um, I mean, Peter Quill's story, no matter what, like it's so well written that like no one can really screw it up at this point. Um, and like him saying like my mother called me Star Lord was like a surprisingly heartfelt and awesome moment. Like that episode for me was really a highlight. I really loved it. Kahori, probably my second favorite episode. Um, but yeah, no, I just found overall I like the Captain Carter episode also. Those are probably my top three. Um, but yeah, no, I the show either played it too safe or just just was just ripping off other stuff that wasn't fun. Like Die Hard, like it was just Die Hard. Let's be real here, and that was stupid. I don't need Happy becoming a Hulk. That's fucking stupid. Um,
so I forgot about it at the time, but when I read the credits and it was Happy Hogan slash the Freak. That actually is something that happens to Happy in the comics from like Volume 1 Iron Man,
oh,
from like
really?
early Iron Man. Yeah. So I did not enjoy that episode, but when I read that, I was like, oh, okay, so they actually were referencing something. So that's kind of cool.
Okay,
Um,
that's interesting. I didn't even realize they were referencing something.
yeah. So that, added a little bit of depth to that, but still not the best episode. But
Um,
let's go down the list and just kind of break down our thoughts on each episode.
yeah. So what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? What did you think of that episode, especially as the opening episode?
It was definitely sort of a fun romp for me. It didn't do anything unexpected, but I enjoyed the lineup of Groot, Howard, Korg and Nebula. I thought that was a fun lineup. Um, so yeah, it was just like a little murder mystery. Nothing crazy, but not bad. I wouldn't say.
The funniest joke out of that was the rock paper scissors joke. That was pretty funny. Um,
A lot of Korg in this season.
yeah, like a little bit too much to be honest. Like Taika, you should have been spending more time on Love and Thunder instead of doing this shit. Maybe if you were more on set and writing a better story, maybe it wouldn't have been so bad. Um,
He has fun with Korg. I know that much.
yeah, but yeah, it was okay. It wasn't anything too crazy, but um, Nebula was well written. I mean, I'm always gonna not be super happy to see the Nova Corps solely due to the fact that it's not the Nova Corps that we expect from the comics.
Yeah, I
Um,
was hoping that we would at least get like a little more out of them in this appearance. I was like, oh, it's what if maybe they can actually show an actual cosmic powered Nova.
that's what I thought. There was a point where a Nova person turned toward like Nebula and didn't take off their helmet, and I was like, wait, are they about to reveal that Sam Ryder or something? And no, they didn't. Or Richard Ryder. That's what I meant to say, not Sam Ryder. That was it's confusing. Sam
Sam
Alexander and
Alexander and
and Richard Ryder,
yeah,
both of them. But yeah, it was okay. It just felt like more of the same, especially after a break from the first season. So I mean,
yeah.
nothing crazy, but yeah,
It was good comedy and just a little murder mystery, nothing crazy. But yeah, I didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't blowing me out of the water.
yeah, exactly.
And second was 1980s, or
Yeah, 1980s. What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes?
yeah,
And I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a really awesome way to tie in all the films that like are in this universe. Basically, we got
mm-hmm.
Captain Marvel, we got Black Panther, we got Winter Soldier, we had Captain America's team like Peggy Carter and Bucky Barnes. We had Howard Stark. Like we had so many different characters. We had Goliath and Ant-Man. We finally got to see Goliath, which is
Yeah,
wild.
I was happy about Goliath.
Yeah, like
What I thought was a
that was
little
sick.
weird though was Winter Soldier. Them already knowing a lot about Winter Soldier and already being able to like appeal to him. I thought like at that point he would have just been like straight up just nothing behind his eye. You know what I mean? Like he just would have
Yeah,
been just straight killing machine. So I thought that was a little weird. Um, but yeah, overall it was a fun lineup. Definitely had some silly moments, but overall I think it had a goal. You know.
yeah. Plus Thor, looked weirdly aged up, even though he should technically be younger, at least a
I
little bit.
wanted a different outfit for him or something. Like
Given the
he
classic
has
look,
so he has so many costumes in the books. Like something to yes, he is a god, but something to define that era of Thor would be helpful. But yeah,
yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I like that Ego got his comeuppance. That was fun, and honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing more in that universe. But then again, the point of What If is to get a brief glance and then you never see it again. Um,
I was also hoping for a different Hank suit, but it was just straight up like Scott's first suit.
well, I mean, because Scott's first suit was Hank's old suit. I mean,
I know. I was just hoping for something more retro because I don't love that Ant Man look.
really,
It's just it's Marvel's like too much lines, too much going on shit. Just give me like a basic fucking I don't know, red or black or something.
I like that first suit. I don't like the later iterations where they make the mask way more like streamlined. But yeah, next up was What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas? I was really bored. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Justin
Yeah.
Hammer was fun, but like that's it for me.
Yeah.
I thought this episode was such a fucking snooze fest.
It was a waste. It was definitely a waste of an episode. They were like, "Oh, it's Christmas. Gotta drop a Christmas episode."
Yeah.
So I guess that's what they did. I laughed really hard at the Werner AI when they booted up the backup AI for the building, and it was just Werner. It was a Werner Herzog reference. That was like that's like the one thing I could tell you I genuinely laughed at in that episode was that.
I don't know. I mean, I'm never uh super into Happy Hogan in the MCU. I think he's one of the more boring characters in the MCU. Um, Incredibly one dimensional. Even in the Spider-Man films, I didn't like him. He
They've
always just
really
felt
been trying to just fucking drill them into people's heads recently because they got like no original cast members left. You know what I mean? So that's kind of I think what's happening is like
he's gonna get
any
killed
like
off.
any OG MCU characters they're just trying to push to the forefront right now and be like, remember these guys? They're part of the founding MCU people. Like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Um, but yeah, overall, just felt really annoying. And
waste of time.
Darcy was like, whatever.
Yeah, I'll
And
start
Maria
putting
Hill's
Darcy and
dead
stuff.
in the main universe, so like I don't give a fuck about her anymore because like yeah, they killed her off in Secret Invasion. Like
Yeah.
they had the chance to finally give her something, and they fucking didn't.
Mm-hmm.
After that was what if Iron Man crashed into Grandmaster? And this was actually supposed to be in the last season, but they cut it because time constraints or something along those lines, which is why we saw the Gamora in the final fight of the last season. What did you think?
Yeah. I don't know. This was ultimately just a comedy episode.
Yeah,
Um, it was a like the initial concept, like Iron Man not making it back from the portal closing at the end of Avengers. Like that's great. Like give me less of those last minute saves in MCU movies. Like that's cool. Going to Grandmasters, going to Sakaar. Okay, fine. That's a a possible progression of that storyline. But then it was just fucking what's it called, wacky raceland or whatever, and it
yeah,
was just it was just races,
it was just
and
goofy
that was
antics
kind of
from
like
then on out.
that was kind of whatever. And on Sakar, like I want crazy character inclusions. I don't want random creatures. I don't want all this shit. They
Give me Beta
fucking
Ray
have
Bill.
Man Thing, yeah, Beta Ray Bill. They have Man Thing on that pillar. They have By Beast, many more characters that are actual characters. Why can't we get a quick throwaway? Man Thing is in the MCU now. He showed up in World by Night. Why can't Man Thing show up for 5 seconds? Just give me a little something. Instead, we get more Korg, we get Gamora, we get Iron Man, Grandmaster, and I want to say that's all like the big characters that we get.
Yeah, Valkyrie
Valkyrie, yeah.
and
Um,
Gamora. Yeah,
so yeah, that was kind of a waste of, you know, Sakaar is like the perfect place to throw away some characters.
yeah,
You know,
and it felt like they didn't do enough with that. Next episode was what if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper, and I thought this was a unique twist on Winter Soldier. I thought this was fun, and I thought it was also an interesting combo with the Black Widow movie that I absolutely fucking hate. Somehow made parts of that like done well, which was cool. But yeah, no. What did you think?
I think yeah, the Black Widow stuff was definitely the best of it, but personally, it was just like a pretty lazy what if concept, as in they were just like, what if this character swapped with this character? It was like one of those to me where it's like, what if Thing got the Venom symbiote instead of Spider Man? It was just, what if this Steve was Winter Soldier instead of. It just seemed like a very
Yeah,
logical, guessable progression for the Peggy Carter Cap universe, for the Captain Carter universe, rather. So
yeah.
I wasn't thrilled by it, but that was just me. I thought it
Honestly,
was just sort of whatever.
yeah. I think honestly, the thing that interested me the most this entire episode was a New York fight. I actually found that pretty cool, and I kind of wish we saw
That
more of
opened
that.
the episode.
Yeah, the opening of the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can definitely understand what you're saying. Where it's very basic.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Uh, the lineup in the intro fight there,
Yeah.
like we didn't, there wasn't any Hulk, which was interesting.
Oh yeah. Wait, what? Was there not
Yeah,
any Hulk?
no, Thor was the heavy hitter there, right? I wasn't super blown away by that either.
That's fair. And then next after that was what if Kahori reshaped the world? Um, Thoughts?
Yeah, I was like, so this is so out of left field to me. I was not expecting this at all. Um, this was again clearly a story that someone wanted to tell, and they let them tell it. I don't think something like this is ever going to happen again. I guess What If was the best format for them to do it, but really the only MCU concept that they used was just the Tesseract, and they were just like, what if it ended up over here and created a whole pocket universe, basically. Um, but yeah, it was. My understanding is it's a twist on actual Native American mythology, the Sky World, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this was historical fiction, just straight up, and that's something I really enjoy in general. So this was a lot of fun. I thought this was pretty great.
Yeah,
But
no.
again, like they let loose, they allowed them to just do what they wanted.
Yeah, 100% agree. Kahori was very fun, very interesting character. I love that she had to convince everyone to come along and fight with her. The villains, you love to hate the colonizers. And I love her speech at the end to the queen, where she's like, "We can either have peace, or we will kill you. There is no third option." Like, it's like, oh shit, like, yeah, no. Um, but yeah, no, I think genuinely probably one of the best episodes of What If. Period. Um, it's so good. It's well written. The main character is interesting. But yeah, like you said, it took one single aspect, one single thing, and made it into a completely new concept, which is really sick. But yeah, no, dealing and keeping the indigenous people's languages was a very good call. I like that they didn't swap it for English, which they would have probably done in any other scenario. But yeah, no, it made it feel organic and real, and yeah, it was great.
Oh no, I have to read subtitles for an entire episode.
Oh no,
What am I gonna do? But yeah, again, very impressive. Very surprised that this came out. This episode came out,
yeah,
and then they then brought Corey back later for the end of the season. So that was cool.
yeah. And then after that was what if Hella found the 10 rings, which she didn't. She didn't find the 10 rings, not even in the in the episode. So
That's true. That's so funny.
like the fuck you mean she found the 10 rings? Literally, the guy already had the Mandarin already had them, and she got banished. Why not name the episode "What if Hela got banished instead of Thor"?
Yeah, there you go.
That would have been a more
I think
accurate
they were
"What
just
if."
trying to be like, this is gonna deal with Shang-Chi characters, and also it Hella's in it. But yeah, that is quite silly.
Um, but yeah, Wenwu really creepy. I like he kept on trying to like kiss her and force her into marriage, and it's like, bro, chill the
Evil,
fuck out, my
e-
guy.
evil recognize evil. Real recognize real.
I mean, I'm glad that they actually got the real actress for Hella to come back and voice her because she was easily the best part of that entire episode.
Yeah, Kate Blanchett is great. She's
Yeah,
a great actress.
very good comedic timing too. Loved her jokes, but um, yeah, no, I this episode was just like, come on, really? And then they turned her into Lifebringer, Hella, which is like, what the fuck? And it didn't even
Yeah.
show up in the last episode. I was really expecting it if they were showing like regular Hella. I was like, okay, they're gonna show Lifebringer Hella or whatever the fuck. They didn't even do that. So I was like, what?
Well, so after the Captain Carter episode, she gets sucked away into that portal. So I was like, oh, now's when they're gonna start setting up, different shit. So yeah, to your point, like I expected Hela to be related to this final thing somehow because she's such a powerful version of Hela. So I was like, oh, she's maybe gonna show up in this final episode to deal with whatever threat they're gonna deal with. And yeah, I was surprised when they didn't.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, this episode was sort of just like a mashup of like, I guess you would say Ragnarok and Shang-Chi. And while I enjoyed spending more time with the Shang-Chi characters, I don't know, it felt a little unnatural of a progression to me for Hela, just because she was so like hell bent on destruction in Ragnarok. Um, but I also just don't agree that she should be Odin's daughter and Thor's sister. I think that's stupid.
Yeah,
So maybe that's part of what's bothering me about her character. Um, but yeah, trying to think what other highlights of this episode were. Good action. I really liked that we got to see Odin fight at the end there. I thought that was a cool fight.
I think that was the only time we've ever seen him fight in the MCU.
Yeah, I think that's very possible, and it was a cool fight.
Every other time he just like lifted his staff and shit has just died.
But yeah, I liked how he was fending them both off. Um, but yeah, it was an interesting concept, but yeah, definitely overall it was just like, what if Hela got banished?
Yeah. And then the next episode was what if the Avengers assembled in 1602? I think I might have an opposing opinion to you. I know that you said you like this. I didn't really enjoy it as much because I feel like they could have committed more to the 1602. I feel like Captain Carter being there really bogged the episode down, and I would have loved if they had faced off against like I don't know more medieval stuff instead of just fucking portals. Like would have
Yeah,
been way more interesting if they were fighting against like dragons or like
yeah.
there you go, the dragons from Shang-Chi. Boom, done.
When I saw the title for this episode, I got really excited. I was like, oh, they're actually gonna use an actual alternate universe from Marvel Comics. Neil Gaiman, if you guys don't know, I'm be shocked if you didn't, wrote the 1602 book, the original book, and it was fantastic. You get Spider-Man showing up in there, you get Doctor Strange, you get Nick Fury, you get Thor, you get the Fantastic Four, all sorts of characters, Hulk. So yeah, I got really excited, and I knew they weren't going to do it justice, but there were still some fun character inclusions. Do I think that some characters should have tried a little bit harder to use that era's speech and that era's language? Yes. Um, but
We're
I
looking
thought
at you, Paul
Destroyer
Rudd.
was yeah, really. I enjoyed Destroyer showing up a lot. I thought he was cool. I thought the use of the yellow jackets was cool. Um, so yeah, it was overall a bit silly. But I I thought it was a good time. Um, but yeah, they could have, yeah, definitely leaned a little bit more into that era for sure.
I'm genuinely surprised they didn't show Spider-Man. I was actually kind of off. We didn't get Spider-Man at all this season. Can you believe that?
Very weird.
Um, which is kind of wild to think about. Um, but yeah, no. I don't know. I feel like they could have easily taken this more medieval route, like swords and sorcery style. Um, and like yeah, you have Thor, but like you could easily sideline him by being like, oh, he's the king, he can't leave the throne, and then like have Cap and Iron Man and all of them like send them on a quest. Eh, could
Yeah,
have been better.
but yeah, the Peggy was just to, well, first of all, apparently everyone just loved the shit out of Captain Carter from the first season because like she was in most of this season.
Yeah,
But yeah, they were just trying to set up the end conflict, I guess. But yeah,
she has
it
been
was a
in
little
Doctor
silly.
Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Now she's been in like how many episodes of What If? Like
It's got to
it's like
be. She's got to have at least 5 appearances at this point.
crazy.
She got her own miniseries in the comics.
Oh yeah, she did. You're right.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
people ate this up. People
Yeah, no.
ate that up.
Um, and then the final episode was What If Strange Supreme intervened? Um, and I was like,
Intervene in what?
yeah, like what?
What
Like
does that mean?
the thing already happened.
What are you talking
Your
about?
your universe got destroyed, my guy. It already
Intervened?
happened.
I guess they couldn't just be like, "What if he went bad" or something?
I
Like, I
mean, it was
don't
pretty
know.
obvious that he was evil. I mean, from the ending of the first season, I was like, okay, they're setting him up to be evil. But like, it felt like
Hmm.
they. It felt like they. What's the best way to put this? The power scaling was completely off. in the fact that like Strange felt super powerful, but also incredibly weak when the plot needed him to be. Like
Yeah.
like Captain Carter, like he should have just been able to like literally just teleport Captain Carter away without asking her anything, and then immediately kill Kiori. Like it shouldn't have taken like even an ounce of effort for him, to be
Mm,
honest. Um, but yeah, no, and then
yeah.
for me, like everyone throwing their fucking objects of power at like Kiori Captain Carter was one of the most fucking contrived moments I've ever experienced in an MCU TV show.
But I would argue that's what like What If is all about, is like ridiculous shit that amalgamates all these like universes that you know and enjoy. But again, like it's too little too late at that point, because every other episode is super like trying to play it safe, whatever.
Yeah,
And
what the fuck
then
was with the Hulk? Well, like
what?
with the wings. You saw that, right? The
Yeah,
Hulk with the
it
wings.
was like a Thor Hulk kind of
Yeah, like
situation.
show me that. Where the fuck was that?
Right, exactly. So that's my point. Like, that's what I'm saying, is like that whole last episode, we get all these really cool, just little cameos. It's like they were fucking saving it for the last episode when we couldn't get some more throwaway shit in the other episodes. It's just a shame, you know. It's like I want to see these characters. I want these crazy versions of these characters to show up. That's the whole point of What If, you know. Like it's not the main universe. Like you don't have to be afraid to kill characters. Like you don't have to be afraid to do something, to try something, you know, like. So yeah, I just enjoyed seeing all those versions of the characters, and of course callbacks to other characters, fucking Killmonger and Zombie Scarlet Witch, like shit like that, you know. That's cool.
I found it very funny when Killmonger was just teleported out of the suit. That was pretty funny.
Just like bye.
Yeah, it was so funny. Um, but yeah, no, I I'm not gonna lie. If Kiori appears in the regular MCU, I would love it. But also at the same time, they're gonna have to they're gonna nerf her. I know they're gonna nerf her because she's like way too powerful right now.
Mm.
um,
Don't fucking being like Quicksilver with these blue streaks running all around the place.
I literally thought it was Quicksilver in the beginning. I was so confused. I was like,
Yeah.
Quicksilver? But yeah, no. But yeah, I guess they have to have another speedster since the Eternals Makari is never going to come back, and and Quicksilver died, so they got to find another speedster.
Yeah. But no,
But yeah,
overall, like this is more of what I expect from a What If episode. You know, that this last episode was more of what I would come to expect. It shows that they're afraid to try stuff until the last second.
yeah. Now my question is, do you think this is stronger or weaker than season one?
You know, I want to say it's stronger. Just off the top of my head, just off of like impressions that this left, because like the first season, I just find myself not remembering a lot of the episodes. So if we're doing it off of that, you know, if I was to actually look at the episodes, I could maybe say something a little more informed. But just off the top of my head, I remember uh, T'Challa joining the Ravagers. I remember um, uh, jokey Thor episode, and I remember like the final fight. And Infinity Ultron is sick. I
Yeah,
love that concept. That's awesome.
that was really
But
cool.
if we're talking about overall season, I think two has more substance.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
guess,
agree. I
but
think that the
it's
finale for
not like a
season one is.
huge. It's not a huge bar.
I think the finale for season one really does it for me. But like, yeah, like you said, there aren't as many memorable moments. The zombies episodes, whatever. Um, the best episode for me was the Doctor Strange losing Christine instead of his hands. Like that was like probably the most standout episode for me
That's
personally
true.
from the
That's true.
first season.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like this
I thought
season
we were gonna
definitely.
get more zombies this season. What happened with that?
Well, they're doing the zombie spin-off show where they're doing like just zombies.
Right.
So almost that got canned. Also, I mean, you never know with this fucking
I
with this
just I was
MCU
so
right
mad
now.
at the zombie shit, because like that's such a fun episode concept, but then they restrict it to movie characters, and it's like, no, this shit is affecting the whole fucking world. Like I don't know, give me a throwaway street level character, but
Give me
don't just
Daredevil.
be
Give me the
like
fucking Daredevil.
anything, bro, anything. At this point, like, yeah, seriously, but that's all I'm saying.
I give this 3 Star-Lord finger guns out of 5. And what about you, Elias?
I give this 2.5 purple Happy Hogans out of 5.
There we go. But yeah, that's been our review of What If. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with Echo and a bunch of other stuff. We'll also be having our end of the year comics awards video, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, remember to like, subscribe, support your local comic shop, and read comics. Bye bye.